I did put up a questionnaire or a survey, I guess, up on my Telegram the other day. Let me find that. Yeah, Crypto Mischief announcements. Lots of flashy icons too, look at that. Animal Farm launches today. I'm planning to do a video tonight to explain the launch, give some non-financial advice on where to park your funds, what the fees are, strategy, tax, and vesting times, etc. Send me your questions into this chat or email me at richie@cryptomischief.io, and I'll try my best to answer them as simply and as quickly as possible. So let's do that. So we did get a bunch of replies. One email I did get was a guy who said he hadn't migrated his pigs yet, and can he still do it? No, you can't. You can try your best, probably contact someone like Stonecutter or Delboy, possibly in the Drip Animal Farm admin group, and see if you can, but I'm 99% sure that the time is too late. Another one was about the dogs, the same thing. The dogs were a lot more recent, but I think also the crediting process is probably done. But if there was a huge error or some dogs missing, then if you do have the transaction hashes, again, contact them or contact me, and I might be able to pass the information through, but it is quite difficult because it is launch day, so you could have dealt with this a lot earlier. Don't know why you left it the last minute. So we do have some questions. What we got? Guys, I need help. I have the old dogs token. How do I swap for Animal Farm dogs? You cannot do that, mate. Sorry. I don't think you've talked about single staking dogs in the pool to earn pigs versus the dog pound. Cheers. Okay, let's talk about that. So we have two options for our dogs, single asset dogs, which we will either buy on launch, farm on launch. You can farm for them. You don't need to buy them by going into the farms. And anything that is not dogs token or drip will earn you dogs token, right? So if you farm with dogs or drip, you're going to get pigs. If you farm with anything else, you're going to get dogs. So you can farm for dogs this way. They're also going to have the two taxes on them though, right? The loyalty tax and the token tax, which will go down over time. So when you get your dogs, let's imagine you do have dogs, you have two options. Come into the pools, well, you have a couple options actually. So he's talking there about single asset staking, right? So you can come just straight in here into the dogs, and the dogs are going to earn you pigs, right? This is pretty good because then you can take the pigs and stake them in the pig pen and earn yourself BUSD and cash out that way, right? I was doing this before. The APR on single asset dogs was pretty low, but it was a constant supply of more pigs, and the value of pigs should be able to hold as long as new capital continues to come into the farm and new use case and utilities added to pigs, which is what has been put on the roadmap by Forex, right? So it is a good place, good solid play, low APR, and by putting your dogs into the single asset staking though, you're not bringing down that tax. Whereas if you come into the dog pound, this is a automated, right, auto compounding service right here, similar to the cake, staking cake and auto compounding it on PancakeSwap. If you do it there on PancakeSwap, then that will actually increase your APR. But if you do it in the animal farm, it will decrease your sales tax. So it's quite similar. It's just a different way to skin a cat, right? Essentially. Dog Pound is the Animal Farm's loyalty reward system. Stake Animal Farm dogs to reduce your tax and earn a BNB dividend, which is generated from Animal Farm dogs' taxes. Auto Dog Pound puts your earned BNB to work by pairing it up with dogs and staking on behalf into the farm, earning you compound interest in both BNB and pigs. As an added bonus, your dog's transaction tax is also reduced 25% faster in the Auto Dog Pound, which is 1% a day, making it easier to decide wealth generation over short-term volatility. So that means that I could take my dogs here instead. It will auto compound for me, right? And at the same time, it will reduce my tax. If I did stake my dogs, it would say here I have how many dogs and how much tax reduction I've had so far. The dogs earn me not pigs, they earn me dogs BNB liquidity tokens. So then I would come to the farm section and I would find that in my dogs BNB here, I'm automatically building a bag here, auto-magically, right? So it's being sent without me having to concern myself straight into here, and then it's paying me out in pigs. And then just like you would be with your single asset staking dogs in the pool section, I would then take the pigs to the pig pen, stake them in the pig pen, and cash out with BUSD rewards. Or the pig token should hold pretty good value, just sell the pig token out, you know, to profit out of the farm. So the two big benefits I see of this is if you want to just throw it into the dog pound, you're going to get yourself pigs out anyway, so you're kind of skipping out that step. And possibly the APR on just the dogs getting pigs paid out to you might be higher. It's really depending in the dog pound on how many people are selling dogs, staking into the farm, right, and earning, because it says here, it's generated from dogs' taxes. So if no one's selling dogs, then that means that there'll be no taxes that will be helping you auto compound your dogs to get yourself the dogs BNB token, right? So the APR is yet to be seen which one is going to have a higher APR. So let's see that. So I'm going to split evenly, actually. I'm going to take some of my dogs, put them into single asset staking, take the other part of my dogs and put them into the auto compounder. And let's see which one has the better APR. Because essentially that's all we want to see. We want to see more pigs at the back end so that we can use them to make BUSD or sell the fuckers. Next question, I really like flashy things. Yes, I do. Thank you, Weibo. I love flashy things. I mean, who doesn't like flashy things? Flashy, flashy. Has the Piggy Bank rewards paused when checking my staking? The amount has dropped. Is that due to something happening or just the value dropped? Yeah, the Piggy Bank just has underperformed because the farm was paused, is the simplest way I can put it. So even myself, I had a huge team of like 900 referrals, but actually I've made basically next to nothing compared to the garden out of the Piggy Bank. So for me, it's also underperformed. The value of my pig stake is way down. Even on the ones that have been continually compounding since the pause, they're way down in value. So it seems that the price of pigs has to pump massively, or we need a huge injection of new capital into the Piggy Bank to make sure that the APR rises again and we get better payout. Because just like any miner contract, and the Piggy Bank is a fancy mining contract, as the TVL comes down, then you're going to start seeing a lower and lower APR, and with no new injected funds, that APR will stay low. And with that, also the value of pigs was falling, so it's a double whammy, right, of bad news, which is why the payout is so low. So if the garden gets a new injection, if the Piggy Bank gets a new injection of capital and the pig's price goes up, you'll also see the value of your stakes go up and your payout go up. Is there any hope on turnaround for the Piggy Bank? I explained that. So those are the only couple questions I got. So, you ask, I answer, that's it. One more thing I will mention about the drip garden actually is, there's a new timer up. That's good. 10 hours to launch. Come on, Forex. So one thing about the garden is very similar, right? So the LPs in the garden, of course, are falling at the moment because people are pulling out their earnings because they want to go into the drip USD pool to earn pigs to then use in the farm, right? Because you can see here, we were at 500,000 drip USD tokens just 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. Now we're down to 435. It's dropped by about 30,000 tokens in the past couple days, which has dramatically hit the APR in the garden too. So at the moment, actually, what I'm doing is I'm super compounding because I have a huge position here anyway with 18 million plants grown already in the garden. So I'm just compounding because now I'm stealing your share. That's right. I'm taking your lunch. You're going out and thinking that you're going to be pulling out your claimable balance from the garden, that you're going to make yourself a better balance in pigs getting paid out from the farm. But at the same time, I'm taking your lunch money. I'm picking you upside down and I'm rolling you, rubbing and taking all the plants, right? And my market share is growing while yours is being destroyed by me, right? That's exactly, I'm stealing your garden. I'm running over your back fence, stealing all your plants. That's what's going on. If we come and see this in analytics form, actually, it'll probably make it easier to understand. So the garden has 31,000 players. That's quite impressive, actually. Jesus. And here's a breakdown of the garden wallet, right? So 1,000 people have 0 to 10 plants, right? So that's a huge amount of people have barely any plants. Then the second wave is 100 to 200 plants, is 700 people. We then have 1,000 people at the third wave with 10,000 to 15,000 plants. We then have people with 100,000 to 150,000 is the third wave, which is 1,944 people. We then have the super club, right? So this is when we have ridiculous people such as this 10 million to 15 million plants. I'm not there. I'm above that. I'd be in this next one of 15 million to 20 million plants. So I'm in the top 100 wallets now of the garden. Yeah, banging, right? Because I'm up in 21. If you go 20 to 20 million, 30 million, there's 37 people. Going all the way up to the high position in the garden is someone with over 110 million plants in his balance. There are 4 people who are mega whales, or I guess 5, right? And I'm catching them. I'm gaining on these people because what I'm doing is I'm just compounding more and more. So as most of the people in the garden are selling out their share and not growing in their plant value, I'm racing ahead. I'm coming into mega plant mode is what I'm going to call it, right? Turning into like killer whale in a garden. So my simple plan is to just become an even more of a killer whale in this garden, right? Taking shares, right? Taking shares and taking names. That's what I'm going to be doing. So going from this group of 37, I want to get in the group of 21, then the group of 7, and then start getting into these single asset whales. I'm going to take them too. I'm going to eat every single one of you. So that's the garden. That's how it works. It is a game of trying to defeat everybody else. And at the moment, I'm defeating 31,000 people are eating. I'm eating your lunch and it's delicious. So what do? You get to your garden, you see you got something to compound which is worth more than the compound value. You take your ledger, because it should be held in the ledger. If it's not, you are absolutely insane, and you just plant some more seeds. That's right, I'm planting these seeds, $227 going back in the garden. Hopefully I'll get myself up to 19 million plants, get it on the journey to 100 million plants. That's right. Now, this doesn't mean that my payout is getting stronger. It's actually weaker than it was before when there was capital coming into the garden. Like I said, the same as the Piggy Bank, because this is how miner contracts work. It's exactly the same in the way that my Mischief airdrop miner works as well, that if the TVL comes down, then of course the APR comes down. But the difference is that I inject capital from my mirror pools, which are DeFi projects which are earning crypto for me, right? Which I then inject into the balance, the TVL of my Mischief miner, which means that actually I stay at a better rate of 3% than these other miners. But of course, I only have 148 investors in my miner, and there are 30,000 in the drip garden. So if you're choosing between which one to invest into, then I would suggest, of course, going in the one with more people. But there's more drain with more people, so you'd really need to do your own research. None of this is financial advice. This is just me, Richie, a DGen, talking about my strategy inside high risk, high reward protocols such as these, and making loads of cash. So that's me put another 225 into the garden. As you can see, now I've compounded over $60,000 into this, adding that 225, still make about $700 a day from the garden, and I've taken 58,000 since it was created. So it has been a bit of a printer for me, and this is what you can get if you just keep at it. What have I hit? 19 million. Booyah!